In the interim, so that this might occasion as little delay as possible, Jefferson said, committees were appointed to draft a declaration, prepare a plan for the new government, and set guidelines for the negotiation of foreign alliances. But who was best to draft the declaration, which was due for consideration and a vote in fewer than 3 weeks? John Adams thought Jefferson should do it. A decision with roots in a secret conversation that had taken place 2 years before. In 1774, on the eve of the First Continental Congress, Benjamin Rush and a few other delegates had met the Massachusetts contingent on the outskirts of Philadelphia. Taking tea in a private room at an inn in Frankfort, Pennsylvania, 6 miles from the city, Rush and his colleagues offered Adams and company some practical political counsel. All suspected of having independence in view, Adams recalled long after. And Massachusetts seemed ahead of much of the rest of America. Adams continued. "Now," said they, "we must not utter the word independence, or give the least hint or insinuation of the idea, neither in Congress or any private conversation. If you do, you are undone. For the idea of independence is as unpopular in Pennsylvania and in all the middle and southern states as the Stamp Act itself. No man dares to speak of it. Moreover, you are the representatives of the suffering state. Boston and Massachusetts are under a rod of iron. British fleets and armies are tyrannizing over you. You yourselves are personally obnoxious to them, all the friends of government. You have been long persecuted by them all. Your feelings have been hurt, your passions excited. You are thought to be too bold, too zealous, too sanguine. You must be, therefore, very cautious. You must not come forward with any bold measures. You must not pretend to take the lead. You know Virginia is the most populous state in the Union. They are very proud of their ancient dominion, they call it. They think they have a right to take the lead, and the southern states and middle states too are too much disposed to yield it to them." Adams appreciated the strategy. This was plain dealing, and I must confess that there appeared so much wisdom and good sense in it. It made a deep impression on my mind, and it had an equal effect on all my colleagues. 2 years later, meeting with Jefferson in the early summer of 1776, Adams had what he called the Frankfort advice. The town was actually Frankfort in mind. To a correspondent who wondered why Jefferson had been invested with such responsibility, Adams wrote, "You inquire why so young a man as Mr. Jefferson was placed at the head of the committee for preparing a Declaration of Independence. I answer, it was the Frankfort advice to place Virginia